Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the whole world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Kwejo Mensah with my wife, my unfailing and unbreakable rib, Eagle Helen Ampuma Mensah, speaking to you all the way from the city of Mississauga in Ontario, Canada. Today is Sunday, the 28th of February in the year 2021. We thank God for this day, and as the Bible teaches us, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Indeed, it is a great day. Today, I'm going to speak to you about the universal law of compensation. According to the law, everyone in the universe will be compensated based on his or her effort. And we already know about this even in our normal lives. Everyone, or the majority of us, are workers. At your jobs, at your work, you are paid based on the role that you've signed to take on. So if you are a laborer, you will only be compensated based on the duties of the activities you are performing as a laborer, but not the managing director. And in the same way, the managing director will not be given a wage or a pay that is meant for a laborer. So everyone is being given based on his or her abilities or the role that you perform. But today, we're going to talk about the law of compensation in a higher level or at a higher level. And I'll begin with the words of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has used very wonderful ways to put forward the law of compensation. And in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 12, Jesus said, "He who has more will be given, such that that person will have in abundance. And he who has not, even the little that he has, will be taken away from him and added unto the one that has already in abundance." Well, this biblical statement given by Jesus, the moralist will build argument to say this is not realistic. This is nonsensical. Why should this happen? But that is true. The one that understands that the universe is a place of law, but not morals, will say it is a perfect situation. The law must take its course. And so in our lives, you will see that those who actually play morals and at the expense of law are the poorest, are the weak people in our world. And it plays out. Look around. But it is the law that controls everything. So Jesus was right, and he's still right. It is a law that he put forward, and that is the law of compensation. He that has more will be given, such that you have in abundance. But the one who has not, even the little that he has, will be taken away from him until he becomes awakened to the law and begin to obey the law. So we're going to relate this law, the law of compensation, to the African situation. But before I do that, I also want to make a statement. The law of compensation has been written about by my mentor, Ralph Waldo Emerson, extensively. And as the one listen to me, I will encourage you to look for the work of Emerson and do your best to digest it. It is time for us to rise up, to look at things from the right perspective, rather than going about chasing people, agitating, asking people for some favors that in the real world, which is the universal world, the world of the universe, it doesn't happen. Even if they give to us, it will get out of our hands within the following day. And it has already happened. We go for loans. By the time the loans get to our hands in our own countries, it has already gone back to where it came from. That is the law. He who has more will be given. But he who has not, the little that he has will be taken away from him and added unto the one that has in abundance. Okay, now let's begin from the African situation. I'll begin from Africa. The race, the black people. There is a general trend that is going on that we are not conscious of. And as it is always, because of our ignorance about these laws, we are always the last people to be conscientized about things. And that is the movement of people. Today, I'm not going to talk about the immigration, where Africans migrate from Africa to the developed world. But I'm going to talk about, after our movement, the effects, the consequences of our movement. If you come to America, if you go to Britain, if you go to Canada, anywhere in the developed world, black people are settled. Most of us are doing well. But we have settled in a foreign land, and intermarriages brought in another breed of people, and that is the mixed race. But the truth about this group of people is that it is 100% certainty, not a chance. It's certain that whenever an African and anyone from the developed world, be it a woman or a man, marries and they give birth, the child will not settle in Africa, but he will settle in the developed world. And we see this happening all the time. All we say is that, we have been accepted. Yes, acceptance. They have opened up and they are accepting us. But the fact is, the world is moving on into another stage, and that is the era of the mixed race. But Africa is already on the losing side. We are the major producers. Our boys and girls are looking for men and women from the other side. And when they give birth, they stay here. Every good thing that is in them doesn't come to Africa. The only thing that Africa can talk of is organizing fanfares and dancing to their achievement far away. We will never touch the soil of Africa. And this is true. And that comes to confirm the words of Jesus, that he who has more will be given. And even the one that has not, the little will be taken away and added on to the one who has. And that is what I'm just telling you. So let me begin with some personalities in the developed world to support this truth. And I will begin from the United States of America. Not long ago, the whole world rose and danced to the arrival of President Barack Obama. Every one of us were happy that a black person has entered the White House. Fair enough, that is good. But what Africans we were dead to is that the law is in operation. America is a developed world. The bedrock, the home of the modern democracy. So when it comes to leaders, when it comes to people who can do things to work, the structures are already there. They don't need people of any extraordinary ability. But Africa, we are doing a catch-up. And if you look at Obama is the son of an African from Kenya. So if it was to be in its real way, then Obama, as a great leader of the world, should have been the leader of Kenya, helping to shape, mold the African democracy, African lands to develop it. But lo and behold, Obama settled in the United States, the mother's land, because the forefathers of the Americas sowed in thoughts, and the universe responded. The universe responds to us, to our thoughts, but not by our physical actions. Your physical actions are just the finishing part of your thoughts, and where your actions only complement or carries out someone's thoughts, then you will not be compensated, or you'll be compensated by based on your physical action, but the mental one is the real thing. So we have President Barack Obama of the United States, but not the Republic of Kenya, not Africa. Africa has already lost one. The little that we have has been added to the Americans. Then we have another personality in the United Kingdom. His name is Paul Boateng, and every Ghanaian will not struggle to even make the connection. It's a typical Ghanaian name. Paul Boateng's father was a government minister, a former government minister of Ghana. He married a white woman, English origin. Their son grew up. He never settled in Africa. He settled in the United Kingdom and rose to become the first black cabinet minister. What did Ghana get from his role that he played in the United Kingdom and even his entire life? Nothing. We can only say, oh, one of us has risen to be this in the United Kingdom. But the truth is, the words of Jesus Christ has been put into our face right there. He that has more will be given. But he that has not, the little that he has will be taken away. Britain is also the bedrock of democracy, where Westminster Abbey is. They have leaders, they have people who have developed their land and democracy for a long time. So if there is something that we need, then our children that have studied there should migrate to our own land to help us build. Boateng could have been a president or a minister in Ghana, helping to build the Ghana as a nation and Africa in general. But he didn't. And he's still in the United Kingdom. The list could go on. The recent one is Kamala Harris, the first vice president, a woman vice president of the United States. The world danced to it. The world danced to her arrival. But the fact is, the law is still in action. Jamaica, the daughter of a Jamaican and an Indian, these two nations will never benefit in any way that she's doing as a vice president of the United States. The already developed nation is taking more. It's like a reserve. It's like an ocean that has opened its mouth and absorbing our own sons and daughters. So the good thing that the mixed race brings, Africa is dead to it, and we will never experience it until we become awakened to this. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because Britain, Germany, America, and all the developed world, their forefathers laid down their lives and built the nations to the level that it became an attraction to human being. The universe has rewarded them based on their effort. So wherever every human being is, we are trying to go to America. Even some of our people take some dangerous expeditions just to get their lands on America. Why? It's a magnet. And when the law works, the magnet cannot be broken. Before I go on, let me give you another example. And that one is very fresh. Those who follow tennis. Recently, the winner of the ladies' division of Australia Open was Osaka Naomi, the daughter of a black man from Haiti and a Japanese woman. Which flag is Osaka holding? Japan, even the Asians. they have already started taking their own lot. So you will see that the law is every day going against us because we are breaching the law. We are ignorant, and we tend to cover ourselves with a certain kind of morals, calling people to come and help us. But that would never liberate us. Even if they help us, if they give it to us, whatever they've given to us will find its way back to where it came from, because no one can circumvent the law. We are being compensated based on what we have sown. Our forefathers did nothing. The only thing they did was a mud house or a thatch house. They never went beyond that. No one invented anything. How can a group of people go forward in development when in their own setup, it is generally believed and accepted that if you do something extraordinary, you'll be eliminated? And so our forefathers sat down. Even if a young man or woman had an idea, they concealed it. In Ghana, they say, "Anibone, a bad eye will come on you." And we've sat down on this every day. And some people develop their places, and now their places have become an attraction. The law operates. So they are being rewarded, they are being compensated for their efforts. So that is the law of compensation. And Africa, this is the time we have to rise up. Let us rise up and begin to think. And as I have been saying all the time, there is an urgent need for us to develop our mental capital. And as soon as our mental capital is well ready in our minds, it will overflow from our minds into our streets, into our cities, towns. And that will become attraction to people, not only our children, but all other people to come and also taste the good that we have created. We are migrating to all other parts of the world. The big question is, who is coming to Africa to look for greener pastures, apart from raw materials? No one is coming. It is the law. He who has more will be given, such that he will have more in abundance. He who has not, the little that he has will be taken away from him. So at the African level, at the level that is the law, and we need to be awakened to that. But I also want to go a little bit lower to your personal life. You will be compensated in life based on your effort. Not your effort in labor, but your effort in thinking. People who cannot think at the advanced level are doomed, and they'll become slaves forever. And that is the African, right from individual. And don't forget that when I say Africa, I'm talking of you individual, not the collection, because at the end of the day, it is the collection of the individuals that is put together to form Africa. So the real Africa is you, the individual, me, all of us. And as soon as we change our outlook by going deeper into the mental aspect of our lives and think, to develop, to create, to bring out extraordinary things in our lives, our aggregates put together will make a wonderful Africa, and such that everyone will come to see and also to enjoy. So in your life, you'll be compensated. And again, the moralists are every day lambasting wealthy people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, those who have gone already, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. All these people are being classified as greedy people because they never did anything for the poor. But the fact is, no one can help the poor. The poor has to help himself by looking for the law, understanding the law, and obey it. It is a natural thing. As soon as you are within the confines of the borders of the law, it will return your rewards or your compensation to you effortlessly. So now, you are poor. You are not happy about your life. That means you are not doing enough in thinking. Your thinking is weak. Bill Gates started his business in a garage. He was an ordinary person, a commoner just like you listening to me. He has risen to become one of the leaders of the world in terms of technology. You too can do that. If you want to become like Bill Gates, then you only have to think. You don't have to struggle to work for Microsoft. If you struggle to be an employee of Microsoft, you are a slave to Bill Gates, and you are refusing to think, to come out with ideas that God has put in you to help humanity. And for that matter, your compensation is just a little, and Bill Gates gets more. One of the areas, especially those of us in this part of the world, if you buy Apple product, or you can buy Apple product, you can buy Microsoft product, you can buy Ford car, you can buy Chrysler car on installments. And actually, cars and all those things comes as finance. So when you buy this, you pay back in installment with interest. So by the time you finish paying, what you've paid to them is almost twice of what you were supposed to pay. Sometimes you're not finished, then they'll call you, oh, come for refinance. Then they put you in debt again. You can cry and cry and cry. You will never be liberated from this. But they are also not wicked. They are also not greedy. But it is the law. The little that you have is being taken away from you and added to them because they have done something that you haven't done. And so since the law operates, you must get your compensation. So every day in our lives, we are working to support other people's efforts, and they get rewarded based on their efforts in thinking and thought. Look through your life. Look through the life of other people around you. And this law is completely active in our lives. You will only be rewarded based on what you have put into the universe. And when I say what you have put into the universe, I'm not talking about how strong you are that you can lift. In Ghana, they say, that is like a weak-minded thinking. Instead of saying, instead of saying, I will use my strength to get this, say, I will use my mind to get there. And when we develop our minds to the level that everything in our minds is at the highest and advanced level, they will overflow onto our streets. And Africa will rise to its glory, as it was in the days of the Egyptian. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars and the planets in their courses, keeps you such that you always be led, guided, and directed to do the right thing for us to bring Africa to the level that befits the 21st century human beings. Thank you.